Welcome back to the Blues Society of Northwest Florida's weekly podcast. I am your host, Paul Stadden, thrilled as always to be joined by the act that's going to be playing the Monday Night Blues Jams. And here's a guy I've been hoping to get on for a while. He's a fantastic guitarist, and I'm sure that you've loved watching him at every single one of the jams. His name is Forrest Higgins. Forrest, welcome to the Blues Society podcast, man. How you doing?
I'm doing fine, Paul. I sure appreciate you having me on, and this is a real pleasure for me. Thank you very much.
I appreciate it much, man. I want to kind of start from the beginning. I always try to take it chronologically with everybody, and I'm really interested in who your influences are. I can hear some country sound. You got a kind of a compressed guitar sound. I hear a lot of like the classic rock guys in there, but who is it that really got you into playing guitar?
I had some great. I'm from Birmingham. I had a couple of great guitar teachers when I started when I was about 7 years old, and I had a phenomenal guitar instructor named Irvin Payne. Of course, nobody knows about him, but he was really phenomenal. He's still to this day the best player I've ever heard in my life.
Wow!
And I was blessed to have a great teacher for years, and that's really I just wanted to play, but was blessed enough and lucky enough to have a fantastic instructor. And that's what got me started. But along the way, I've just been influenced by many, many players. And I try to pick up the little chops that I like from each of them, and try to blend it into my own personal sound.
Well, what got you down into Pensacola? You say you're playing in Birmingham. Did you have bands there that you were playing with?
I'm from Birmingham. My folks started coming down here on vacation. Of course, I went down with them, and my dad eventually bought a little beach house and a little business on the beach. I just kind of fell in love with the place, and that's how I ended up there.
I can see that. So tell me about getting into the music scene. Did you start out playing blues? Did you start out playing rock? Were you somebody that was kind of...
Yeah, just the cover tunes on the radio, anything that was on there, from the Beatles on up, the old guys. I listened to the old blues guys, the Elmore James and the Highland Wolves and Jimmy Reeds, and listen to old stuff by Robert Johnson, and I listened to all the I was a big Jeff Beck fan.
Oh, sure.
And he was influenced me a lot. I still like his playing.
Oh, absolutely.
And, I've just been a smorgasbord of different players, trying to put it into my own style. I pick up parts from different players and try to put it into my own sound.
Well, let me ask you this. You're talking about your own sound. Do you prefer playing your own material? Do you prefer playing other people's material? I mean, do you have a lot of originals that you like to pull out?
Yes, I do. Paul, I am a songwriter, but there's so many great songs out there. I sure don't mind playing great music.
I hear you on that.
So many great tunes out there, as you're aware of. I certainly have I love playing originals, which I do a couple now in my act, but I also enjoy the cover tunes, but I like to put my own little personal slant on, and kind of make the song my own, if you know what I'm talking about.
I get exactly what you mean. Well, let me get to your rig. I mean, you're talking about the Jeff Beck influence. I can totally see that. You're a Stratocaster man, and I can understand that love there with all the great players that have picked up that axe over the years. But let me talk about your pedal board a little bit. I've had a chance to glance over it when I've been at your shows, and I'm pretty sure I have not owned that many pedals in my entire life, much less at one time and in one location. I mean, are you kind of a pedal geek? Do you like really crafting your sound?
Well, actually, I don't have very many on the board. The reason I do a lot of session work, and I have that board set up for the studio.
Gotcha.
So, in other words, whatever I'm needed in the studio, I have there on the board. If I have to have a tremolo effect or they want delay or reverb. So, instead of taking my board apart all the time, I just leave everything on there. Though I don't use, actually, but maybe 2 or 3 of the pedals.
Right.
When I'm doing a live performance, I just have my board set up mainly for the studio.
Right.
And just maybe a little delay, maybe a little reverb and a little compression. I mean, that's pretty much it. And a little distortion, a little overdrive every now and then. But actually, I don't use hardly any of those pedals you see out there. Very few of them. They're just there.
Fair enough. Hey, look, I understand. I'm not judging. I like a big old pedal board myself. If it were up to me, I'd take a recording studio with me everywhere. But you're talking about doing a lot of session work. So do you play for a lot of other people doing guitar work?
Yeah, I've played. Yeah, I was with Gwen McCrae. I was her band leader and guitarist for about 4 years. She's a Grammy nominee. You might remember from Rockin' Chair. Mm-hmm. And I did work with Glenn McRae, and I've just done session work with, different players from gospel music to country, and not really a lot of famous players people you've heard of. But,
Sure.
But I've done a lot of session work, quite a bit, yeah.
Who's the favorite person that you've ever had to play with?
That I've actually played on stage with?
Absolutely.
Whoa, that's a tough one. There's been so many.
Narrow down. I know it's like trying to pick your favorite child, but, sometimes we got to narrow down.
Any particular instrument you have in mind? Or just,
gosh. Well, I know you're a multi-instrumentalist. Let's stick with the guitar right now.
So somebody I really enjoy playing with guitar-wise?
Yeah. Actually,
Paul, there hadn't been really that many. Been a couple local players that I played with. I like Charlie Stout a lot. He's a good friend of mine and a very good player. But I hadn't really most of the acts and performance I've been the only guitarist in the band, if you don't know the truth about it. So I hadn't really shared the stage with too many other guitarists.
Fair enough. Hey, look, I know we kind of tend to be lonesome doves in that respect. I know the guitarists kind of like to sometimes be the only six-string axe man up there. Well, let's talk about your current band right now, the band that we're going to be seeing on Monday night. I love you guys, Doghouse, and you've got two great players with you. You've got Don Shepard on bass and Jay Platt on drums.
Yes, excellent players.
I totally agree. I know you guys are playing out a lot more. I mean, is there a really good vibe, a good connection in the group?
Yes, definitely. You know how important that is. I mean,
gosh.
if you don't gel vibe-wise or personality-wise, it definitely shows up in your performance. So yeah, you gotta like who you're gigging with. I think and
that's fair.
I definitely like who I'm gigging with, and they're very professional and really just nice guys and good players, like I said earlier. And yes, there's a good vibe, good chemistry, and you don't always have that.
Yeah.
So, and that's very, very important to have a good solid group.
Well, do you guys have any plans on doing any recordings at any point?
I hope so, because we're playing one of my originals right now, and in our performance, we definitely plan on working up some more.
Excellent.
And at some point in time, I'd definitely like to get in the studio. I work with a really good studio here locally, Chris Myers at Stonewall Productions, and he's one of the best producers around. And we'll give a plug for his studio.
I was going to say, please feel free. Feel free to give as many plugs as you want to.
Yeah, that's Stonewall Productions, Chris Myers. He's just an amazing producer, amazing studio. And, we definitely, down the road, we hadn't been together that long. And so we're just pretty much starting out right now and getting our act together. But it's been really, really enjoyable so far.
Well, Forrest, I'm going to leave you with one more question. It's one I ask everybody every single week. And I'm interested in hearing your take on this, because a lot of people think about the blues as being one particular stuck-in-time thing, whether they're interested in old Delta blues, Chicago blues, more electric blues, or do you think it's more expansive than that? Do you think that we can incorporate a lot of these different styles and elements into the blues and have it be okay as kind of this mongrelized thing?
Yeah, definitely. There's a lot of styles and variations, as you know, to blues. It's a lot like jazz. And of course, you can actually put some jazz influence in blues. But it's quite varied, I think. And there's the old blues, the old Chicago and the old Memphis style, and then it's changed. It got modernized a bit, and it's quite a wide range of variations in blues now. And you hear a lot of different styles of music now in blues.
Yeah.
I know when I perform, I throw some jazz licks in. I throw some rock and roll licks in. And you can incorporate all that into blues. So it's really a music right now, I think, for everyone. It's pretty enjoyable for most people, I believe.
Forrest Higgins with Doghouse going to be playing the Monday Night Blues Jams coming up 8 p.m. Monday, October 6th. Make sure that you catch them at Lili Marlene's Seville Quarter. Every single Monday we've got the Blues Jams there, and it's going to be a great one this coming Monday. Forrest, good luck to you. I look forward to seeing you guys play.
Fantastic, man. I really appreciate this, Paul, and I'll see you around, buddy.